When it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, there's a lot of news breaking this week, and it has a lot to do with inflation. And today, as we're seeing inflation data come out a little bit higher than we'd like to see, we're seeing Bitcoin prices come down, and that puts a risk on for Ethereum and for altcoins as well. Leading into this day, we actually saw stories coming out saying that Bitcoin price faces a critical week. The signals analysts are watching before inflation data. Well, that inflation data is now out. And on that data, gold is now slipping after taking highs, coming down, and the dollar is getting stronger. And as we know, when the dollar gets stronger, Bitcoin and gold, crypto, get weaker. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I want to talk a little bit about what is going on right now in this market regarding historical trends in the month of September, what we're seeing in the news right now today. And let's get into this one. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Welcome back, guys. And I want to remind you guys this. The data has historically suggested of bearish Septembers, but we are still up 4.82%, which is spectacular for Bitcoin. The average is typically a negative 3% move for Bitcoin, and the CPI data could be something that takes us to those lower levels. But I also want to remind you guys that with this news coming out, we still have the stock market actually trading slightly higher today. Now the gold is down, but the S&P and the NASDAQ are up a little bit, which is interesting as CPI inflation is getting worse. But the jobless claims are also getting worse, which means that the Fed really needs to stick to this rate cut plan. This CPI data, according to this Yahoo Finance article, they say the print isn't expected to dissuade the Federal Reserve from lowering rates at its next meeting, which the next meeting for the Federal Reserve is coming in just 6 days and 4 hours. This is not to dissuade the Federal Reserve from lowering rates at the meeting next week, as recent federal data has shown cracks in the labor market. And upon a weekly jobless claims Thursday continued to paint the picture of a weakening labor market, with the applications for unemployment benefits jumping to 263,000, the most in nearly 4 years. But the CPI report has the potential to upend rising bets that more cuts will follow. Traders see near 95% of a quarter point reduction in September. Now let's look at the odds of this right now, because what I'm seeing this morning is very interesting. For now, immediately following the CPI news, here's our odds. A 90% chance of a quarter point cut. This is the highest those odds have been yet. Actually, you know what? They might have been a little higher, but there is still a chance of a half a point cut. If we go by half a point cut, that would really be a catalyst to trigger a massive move for crypto, I believe, and the stock market. Going into October, these are the highest odds we've seen for another quarter cut in October, which is very interesting after this news. And December is also at its highest odds to get down 0.75%. Now, that is contrary to what is written in this article right here. And in that point, immediately, I want to tell you guys this. Nobody can predict the future, okay? But what we do know is that some rate cuts will be coming this year. We also know that inflation is still problematic. Yes, we got some good PPI data yesterday, but the CPI data came in higher, and that is the most important gauge that the Fed uses to measure inflation. So the optimism over 3 cuts are a 0.75% cut in total before the end of the year. That might shift. And this leads me to really be very curious to see what truly happens here in September. We do have rate cuts coming, but as we've discussed many times, I do think that there's a good chance that the rate cuts might already be priced in. And when these cuts actually come, we might get a drop. What does being priced in mean? Well, when I say already priced in, I mean that the markets have come up. Bitcoin got down 110 and has come up. We've seen Ethereum have a nice rally. We knew that rate cuts were coming. There's been excitement. There's been some altcoins that have been pumping. The optimism has been priced in. People have bought on the upcoming news, knowing that Fed rate cuts are coming. But when the news actually comes, that is a buy the rumor, sell the news event, potentially. And I would not be surprised if that is the catalyst for our September dip. Now, as we see this volatility play out in the crypto market, and we're doing TA for you guys and talking about this, and these are our personal opinions, guys. We're obviously using the data that we have at our disposal to put out videos for you guys day in, day out. This is Blacksea's video from yesterday. But if you see this volatility playing out, and let's say you have a holding portfolio, you're holding Bitcoin, you're holding Ethereum, you're holding Crow, you're holding Pepe, whatever you might be holding, you got a holding portfolio. Well, at the same time, you know, there are trading opportunities. If Bitcoin's going to have a 10% move or Ethereum's going to have a 5% move, there is potentially money to be made on that volatility. And if you guys want to trade the volatility, you can learn how to trade by trying demo trading, or you could do copy trading. Trading's not for everybody, but if you guys want to trade, there are sign-up bonuses in the description of this video for BitConnect, up to a $100,000 deposit bonus, and for Blowfin down below. And I do believe that this news is kind of supporting the idea that we are probably going to have some kind of dip in September for Bitcoin. And I think seeing gold slip is a signal of that. But maybe it doesn't come perhaps until after we actually see the Fed rate cut come out. And yes, the Fed rate cuts are a bullish thing, but immediately following, again, maybe this is already priced in. I can't possibly predict the future. Like I said, we see some coins up today, but we do see quite a few down as well. It's kind of a mixed day for altcoins and Bitcoin. A lot of uncertainty right now in the market, a lot of confusion. This is not a great news story. We had other terrible news stories yesterday, obviously, as well, outside of crypto. Just a weird day for crypto. Light volatility. Let's see what happens next in this crypto market. And what we're going to continue to do on this channel is look at the data as we see it and continue to track the volatility of these markets. Yes, Bitcoin has been moving up a little bit, but do be aware that September could have a surprise in store for us, a potential dip. Bitcoin dominance could find a little bit of a recovery. If Bitcoin dominance finds a recovery, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dominance recovery comes on a Bitcoin dip. And with that being said, a larger dip for altcoins. Right now, Ethereum has a little bit of strength today compared to Bitcoin. But if all of a sudden Bitcoin dominance starts to slip, that would be a sign that Ethereum could dip lower. And a lot of people, myself included, believe that there's a chance Ethereum could dip back down to the $4,000 level and possibly below it. This is something we're going to keep an eye on. This is the breaking crypto news I have for you guys today. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, DCA, hold on my friends, and of course, I'll keep the content coming for you guys day in and day out. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Have a great day, and I will have more content coming to you soon. DCA Hodl, 2 videos here if you want to check them out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.